Welcome, my name is Raphael. I will take you through computer networks. What is a computer network? A computer network is a set of computers connected together for the purpose of sharing resources. The most common resource shared today is connection to the internet. Other shared resources can include a printer or a file server. The internet itself can be considered a computer network. Networks may be simple or complex, self-contained or dispersed over a large geographical area. What are the terms that are used in computer networks? We have node, and this is any device connected to a network such as computer, printer, or data storage device. We have a client. This is a node that requests and uses resources available from other nodes, typically a microcomputer. What about a server? This is a node that shares resources with other nodes, maybe called a file server, a printer server, a communication server, web server, or database server. We also have the network operating system, that is the NOS. This is the operating system of the network that controls and coordinates the activities between computers on a network, such as electronic communication and sharing of information and resources. We also have distributed processing, which is computing power is located and shared at different locations. Common in decentralized organizations. For example, each office has its own computer system but is networked to the main computer. We also have a host computer, and this is a large centralized computer, usually a microcomputer or a mainframe computer. Let us check on basic networking components. One of the basic networking components is a repeater. And this is a device that receives electronic signals, cleans them, and retransmits them at higher power level. Signals transmitted over cable tend to degrade over long distances. Repeaters are needed so that signal can travel longer distances. We also have a hub as a component. And a hub is a networking device that connects multiple devices directly to the network using cables. Each connection is called a port. The connections typically consist of a fiber optic Ethernet cable. When the hub receives data at one of its ports, it distributes the data to other ports in the network. Typically, the hub sends all the data it receives to all the other ports. A switch is another component that contains many ports to connect different network segments. They are similar to a hub, but offer greater performance. When a network contains a large number of devices, switches are needed instead of hubs to make sure that the communication between devices does not slow down. Contrary to hubs, switches send the data it receives only to specific ports. We continue with the basic networking component. Another device is a bridge. Bridges are networking devices that divide up the network into different segments to manage the amount of traffic. This prevents unnecessary traffic from entering other parts of the network and reduces congestion. As a network becomes more complex, bridges make sure that your network speed doesn't drop dramatically. What about routers? Routers are communication devices used to connect two different networks. A router sorts incoming data and distributes it to correct destination. For example, if you have a network within a single office building, many different devices from within the network may access resources outside the network. The best example of this will be the internet. A router ensures that requests from within the network for information over the internet are distributed to the correct computer within the network. The internet itself uses numerous routers to direct all traffic taking place. Routers can be used for wired connection, wireless connections, or both. A router that provides wireless connection is referred to as a wireless router. A gateway interfaces networks that use different protocols. You can think of a gateway as a router that includes protocol translators. The terms router and gateway are often used interchangeably, but it is important to remember that only gateways make it possible to connect networks using different protocols. Since the internet and many other computer networks use the same TCP/IP protocols, routers are sometimes all that is needed for a particular network. However, any network that also includes a mainframe system will need a gateway, since this type of network uses different communication protocols. Another device is a modem. Modems are used to modulate and demodulate data signals. The term itself is a combination of the first two letters of modulator and the first three letters of demodulator. What does this really mean? While all computer data is digital, signals over certain types of connections are analog. A modem is used to encode digital information onto an analog carrier signal and decode the transmitted information back to digital. Let us check on the types of computer networks. And the first type of computer networks is the local area network, or rather the LAN. A local area network is a computer network in which computers and peripheral devices are in close physical proximity. It is a collection of computers within a single office or building that connect to a common electronic connection, commonly known as network backbone. This type of network typically uses microcomputers in a bus organization linked with telephone, coaxial, or fiber optic cable. A local area network allows users to share hardware, software, and data on the network. Many computers, mainframe computers, or optical disk storage devices can be added to the network. A network bridge device may be used to link a local area network to other networks with the same configuration. A network gateway device may be used to link a local area network to other networks even if their configuration are different. The second type of network is the metropolitan area network, or rather the MAN. A metropolitan area network is a computer network that may be a city-wide. This type of network may be used to link between office buildings in a city. The use of cellular phone systems expand the flexibility of metropolitan area network by linking car phones and portable phones to the network. Lastly, we have the wide area network, rather the WAN. A wide area network is a computer network that may be countrywide or worldwide. It normally connects networks over a large physical area, such as in different buildings, towns, or even countries. A modem connects a local area network to a wide area network when the wide area network connection is an analog line. For a digital connection, a gateway connects one type of local area network to another local area network or wide area network, and a bridge connects local area network to similar types of local area networks. This type of network typically uses microwave relays and satellites to reach users over long distances. The widest of all wide area networks is the Internet, which spans the entire globe. Another term to familiarize with is the transmission medium. A transmission medium is a physical path between the transmitter and the receiver. That is, it is the channel through which data is sent from one place to another. Transmission media are located below the physical layer and are controlled by the physical layer. The transmission media are also called communication channels. Transmission medias are of two types. One, the guided transmission media, also referred to as the wired or bounded transmission media. Signals being transmitted are directed and confined in a narrow pathway by using physical links. Second, it is the unguided transmission medium. The unguided transmission medium, also referred to as wireless or unbounded transmission medium. No physical medium is required for transmission of electronic signals under the unguided transmission medium. The following is a chart showing the types of transmission medias. We have guided media, which we apply the twisted pair cables, also the coaxial cable, and also the optical fiber cable. Under the unguided media, we use radio waves, microwaves, and infrared waves. Let us go ahead and check on network topologies. Topology is the arrangement and connection of nodes of a network. There are four principal network topologies. One, the star topology, the bus topology, the ring topology, hierarchical, or rather the hybrid topology, and lastly, the mesh topology. Let us start by checking on the star topology. In a star network, there are different number of small computers or peripheral devices linked to a central unit called a main hub. The central unit may be a host computer or a file server. All communications pass through the central unit and control is maintained by polling. This type of network can be used to provide a time-sharing system and is common for linking microcomputers to a mainframe. What are the advantages of the star topology? First advantage is that it is easy to add new nodes and remove nodes. Secondly, in case of a node failure does not bring down the entire network. Thirdly, it is easier to diagnose the network problems through a central hub. Disadvantages of the star topology is if the central hub fails, the whole network ceases to function. It costs more to cable a star configuration than other topology. That is, more cable is required than for a bus or a ring configuration. The second is the bus topology. In a bus network, each device handles its communications control. There is no host computer, however, there may be a file server. All communications travel along a common connecting cable called a bus. It is a common arrangement for sharing data stored on different microcomputers. It is not as efficient as star network for sharing common resources, but it is less expensive. The distinguishing feature is that all devices, or rather nodes, are linked along one communication line with endpoints called the bus or the backbone, just as the figure shown above. What are the advantages? It is reliable in very small networks, as well as easy to use and understand. It requires the least amount of cable to connect to the computers together, and therefore is less expensive than other cabling arrangements. It is easy to extend. Two cables can be easily joined with a connector, making a long cable for computers to join the network. A repeater can also be used to extend a bus configuration. However, we have disadvantages of bus topology, and that heavy network traffic can also slow a bus considerably. Because any computer can transmit anytime, bus networks do not coordinate when information is sent. Computers interrupting each other can use a lot of bandwidth. Secondly, each connection between two cables weakens the electrical signal. Third, the bus configuration can be difficult to troubleshoot. A cable break or malfunctioning computer can be difficult to find and can cause the whole network to stop functioning. Third topology, we have the ring topology. In a ring network, each device is connected to two other devices, forming a ring. There is no central file server or computer. Messages are passed around the ring until they reach their destination, often used to link mainframes, especially of a wide geographical area. It is useful in decentralized organizations called a distributed data processing system. We have the advantages of ring topology. And one is that ring networks offer high performance of small number of workstations or for large networks where each station has a similar workload. Second, ring networks can span longer distances than other types of networks. And third is that ring networks are easily extendable. However, we have disadvantages of the ring topology. Relatively expensive and difficult to install. Also, failure of one component on the network can affect the whole network. It is also difficult to troubleshoot a ring network. Lastly, adding or removing computers can disrupt the network. We also have the mesh topology. This is a network topology in which devices are connected with many redundant interconnections between network nodes, where each node is connected directly to the other node. Advantages of mesh topology. Here's the greatest amount of redundancy. In the event that one of the nodes fails, where network traffic can be redirected to another node. Network problems are also easier to diagnose. A disadvantage, though, is that the cost of installation and maintenance is high. That is, more cable is required than any other configuration. Lastly, we have the hybrid or the hierarchical topology. A hierarchical topology consists of several computers linked to a central host computer. It is similar to a star topology. Other computers are also host to other smaller computers or to peripheral devices in this type of network. It is useful in centralized organizations. What are the advantages of hybrid topology? It improves sharing of data and programs across the network. It also offers reliable communication between nodes. However, it has disadvantages in that it is difficult and costly to install and to maintain. It is also difficult to troubleshoot the network problems. Let us check on the advantages of computer networks. The first advantage is on file sharing. The major advantage of computer network is that it allows file sharing and remote file access. A person sitting at one workstation that is connected to a network can easily see files present in another workstation, provided he is authorized to do so. This saves him or her the hassle of carrying a storage device every time data needs to be transported from one system to another. Further, a central database means that anyone on the network can access a file or update it. If files are stored on a server and all of its clients share that storage capacity, then it becomes easier to make a file available to multiple users. Second advantage is resource sharing. For example, if there are 12 employees in an organization, each having their own computer, they will require 12 modems and 12 printers if they want to use the resources at the same time. A computer network, on the other hand, provides a cheaper alternative by the provision of resource sharing. All the computers can be interconnected using a network, and just one modem and printer can effectively provide the services to all the users. Number 3 advantage, it is inexpensive setup. Shared resources mean reduction in hardware cost. Shared files mean reduction in memory requirement, which indirectly means reduction in file storage expenses. A particular software can be installed only once on a server and made available across all connected computers at once. This saves the expense of buying and installing the same software as many times as many users. Number 4, it is that it is flexible. A user can log on to a computer anywhere on the network and access his files. This offers flexibility to the user as to where he should be during the course of his routine. A network also allows the network administrator to choose which user on the network has what specific permissions to handle a file. Fifth, we have increased storage capacity. Since there is more than one computer on a network which can easily share files, the issue of storage capacity gets solved to a great extent. A standalone computer might fall short of storage memory, but when many computers are on a network, the memory of different computers can be used in such a case. One can also design a storage server on the network in order to have a large storage capacity. However, we have disadvantages of computer networks. One is security concerns. One of the major drawbacks of computer networks is the security issues that are involved. If a computer is a standalone computer, physical access becomes necessary for any kind of data theft. However, if a computer is on a network, a hacker can get unauthorized access by using different tools. In case of big organizations, various network security software needs to be used to prevent theft of any confidential and classified data. Second, we have virus and malware. If even one computer on a network gets affected by a virus, there is a possible threat for other systems getting affected too. Viruses can spread on a network easily because of the interconnectivity of workstations. Moreover, multiple systems with common resources are the perfect breeding ground for viruses that multiply. Similarly, if malware gets accidentally installed on the central server, all clients in the network that are connected to that server will get infected automatically. Third, we have lack of robustness. If the main file server of a computer network breaks down, the entire system becomes useless. If there is a central linking server or a bridging device in the network and it fails, the entire network will come to a standstill. In case of big networks, the file server should be a powerful computer, which often makes setting up and maintaining the system doubly expensive. 4. We have needs an efficient handler. The technical skills and know-how required to operate and administer a computer network is considerably high. Any user with just the basic skills cannot do this job. Also, the responsibility that comes with such a job is high, since allotting usernames and permissions to users in the network are also the network administrator's duties. Lastly, we have lack of independence. Since most networks have a centralized server and dependent clients, the client users lack any freedom whatsoever. Centralized decision making can sometimes hinder how a client communicates with each other today and have made our life easier. From the World Wide Web to your local office, that is the local area network, computers have become indispensable in daily life, and networks have become a norm in most businesses. If networks are designed and configured keeping in mind its pros and cons, they are the best piece of facility you could ever have. The Internet is a global network connecting millions of computers. Or rather, we can just say it is a network of networks. It consists of millions of private, public, academic, business and government networks of local to global scope, linked by a broad array of electronic, wireless, and optical networking technologies. The Internet carries an expansive range of information resources and services, such as the interlinked hypertext documents and applications of the World Wide Web, the WWW, the infrastructure to support email and peer-to-peer networks for file sharing and telephony. What are some of the terminologies used over the Internet? 1. HTTP. HTTP is a technical acronym that means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, the language of web pages. When a web page has this prefix, then your link, text, and pictures should work in your web browser. 2 is HTTPS. HTTPS is a Hypertext Transfer Protocol secured. This means that the web page has a special layer of encryption added to hide your personal information and passwords. Whenever you log into your online bank or your web email account, you should see HTTPS at the front of the page address. Third, we have URL, which means or stands for Uniform Resource Locators. These are web browser addresses of the Internet pages and files. A URL, or rather Uniform Resource Locator, works together with IP addresses to help us name, locate, and bookmark specific pages and files for our web browsers. URLs commonly use three parts to address a page or file: the protocol, which is portion ending with double / and a colon; the host computer, which sometimes ends in a .com; and finally the file name or page name itself. Lastly, we have the IP address. IP standing for the Internet Protocol. Your computer's Internet Protocol address is a 4-part or 8-part electronic serial number. Every computer, cell phone, and devices that access the internet is assigned at least one IP address for tracking purposes. What is the uses and advantages of the internet? One use of the internet is the email. Email is an online correspondence system. With email, you can send and receive instant electronic messages, which works like writing letters. Your messages are delivered instantly to people anywhere in the world, unlike traditional mail that takes a lot of time. Second is access to information. The internet is a virtual treasure trove of information. Any kind of information on any topic under the sun is available on the internet. The search engines on the internet can help you find data on any subject that you need. Third is shopping. Along with getting information on the internet, you can also shop online. There are many online stores and sites that can be used to look for products as well as buy them using your credit card. You don't need to leave your house and can do all your shopping from the convenience of your home. Fourth, we have online chat. There are many chat rooms on the web that can be accessed to meet new people, make new friends, as well as to stay in touch with old friends. And last, we have downloading softwares, among many others. Downloading software is one of the most happening and fun things to do via the internet. You can download innumerable games, music, videos, movies, and a host of other entertainment software from the internet, most of which are free. We also have the disadvantages of the internet. We shall mention 3, but there are many other disadvantages of the internet. One is personal information. If you use internet, your personal information such as your name, address, etc. can be accessed by other people. If you use a credit card to shop online, then your credit card information can also be stolen, which could be akin to giving someone a blank check. Pornography. This is a very serious issue concerning the internet, especially when it comes to young children. There are thousands of pornographic sites on the internet that can be easily found and can be detriment to letting children use the internet. Third, we have spamming, and this refers to sending unsolicited emails in bulk, which serve no purpose and unnecessarily clog up the entire system. Thank you as you continue to study this topic of computer networks. I wish you well.